I made sure I got this one up before I made this video, just so that there's like a proper review of it. You don't really see much about Obsessed or the other kind of obsession line of Calvin Klein on YouTube. I've not really found much about this, so I wanted luckily you can quite easily get these little carded samples. So Obsessed, I absolutely love the bottle, and as it turns out I really love this fragrance as well. So for a more in-depth review, the one I did went up on Friday, so you can check that one out, but I'll just quickly give you a rundown here. So the top notes are citruses, elemi, neroli and bergamot. The middle notes are lavender, sage, violet leaf, orange blossom, lily of the valley and rose. And the base notes are musk, ambrette and isoe super. So I tested this on Saturday morning. I did my neck and wrist and a proper full wear. And I wanted to make sure that it didn't give me a headache, because I don't have much experience with isoe super, and the only kind of molecule style things I've really smelt tend to be like ambroxan and things of that nature. And I haven't got on with Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, and there was another one I tried by a different brand that I can't remember the name of, that is supposed to just sort of like work with your chemistry and smell really nice. None of those worked on me. They all smell either like, well, it was like Narciso Rodriguez, pond water, swimming pools, or just cheap bad wood. Now it tends to be what I get from those kind of perfumes. This is not that. This is gorgeous. You can smell the lavender and sage, definitely. It's definitely musky. You get the isoe super, I assume, because it kind of just smells like clean, fresh, but slightly sexy skin. It's definitely got a slight sweetness to it, but I have previously had a bottle of the Obsessed Intense and I couldn't get on with it because it was so sweet for me. It was too sweet and too powdery, and so it made me feel a bit queasy, because I'm not keen on that kind of sagey smell. If it's too sweet, I kind of like it to be a little bit kind of medium, if you see sweetness. So this one I really, really like, and it's gone onto my list of things I'd love to have a bottle of, and I just love this bottle. So yeah, if you want to see anything a bit more in depth, then I've got a whole review of that one. Went up on Friday. So I wore that before I had my shower, and then I wore this for the rest of the day, and it's just surprisingly lovely. Now this is part of a haul that I have filmed but hasn't gone up yet, but you'll see it very soon. This is a perfume randomly by Jade Goody. British people might know who she is, and anyone else probably doesn't, but anyway, she was a celebrity. She passed away when she was very young. It's very sad. There's way more to the story than that, but you know, it's not really my area of interest. I just like a bargain. So I got both of her perfumes in a haul a while back, and so I finally got round to filming that haul, and I will put that up. I think it's going up next week, so yeah, it will be on Wednesday, so you can see the whole thing. So again, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but this is a very cozy, slightly, vintage style, but with a bit of a modern twist, if that makes sense. You wouldn't smell it and think this is an old perfume, you know, it's no youth dew or anything, but it does have, and you can probably tell by the colour, it smells like this colour would suggest. It's got a really nice, sweet, comforting, old school vibe, and I think this one's super soapy. I think it smells like a really fancy soap. I'm not sure if that makes sense. If anyone else has tried this, then let me know, but the notes really aren't helpful here, because there's hardly any listed, and I'm absolutely sure that there's more going on. For instance, I'm sure that there's some kind of sandalwood in here, and I think there's probably some kind of vanilla. I don't know, but it only lists red berries. I think on like the press releases it says red fruits, so that could be a myriad of things. So middle notes frangipani and tiari flower, base notes amber and patchouli. I don't get a huge amount of patchouli here, to be honest. The amber definitely is, like, this is an amber perfume, I'd say, but it's, what I said in the review is, if you like what's it called, Adam Levine For Her, then you probably will like this. It gives me that same cozy feeling, but it's almost, I would say this is almost as if that Adam Levine thing had a bar soap and it was scented with his perfume. This is not marigold. You can tell it's like frangipani rather than marigold. But it gives me that same feeling. It's so cozy and comfy. I really like it. I think this is a really nice one. It's so cheap, which is insane. But it's just, cozy is the only word I can think to use it. It is cozy, comforting, perfect autumn winter kind of smell. Really, really pretty. Not ridiculously strong, but also not particularly weak, considering it's like I think I got it for about £7 for 100ml of an eau de parfum. So yeah, that was that one. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sunday. I never see anyone talk about this. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone talk about this. I've had this for ages. I just haven't really got round to either properly wearing it or like I was kind of wearing it occasionally when I didn't have a sense of smell. But it's been in my drawer for ages, and before then I'd had this Obsession Night by Calvin Klein. I'd had it on my list for maybe like a year before I actually got it. And the thing that pushed me over the edge for getting this one was someone on Fragrantica saying, I don't know why, no one else has said it, but if you're British you might understand what I'm saying. It smells like rhubarb and custard sweets. And I was like, right, I'm going to have to try it then. Because you can get this for like between £20 and £25. This is a 100ml bottle. It's a beautiful bottle. Isn't it gorgeous? It's kind of hard to see, but the cap is actually slightly transparent as well. It's blue glass. And it's just so pretty in a blue liquid. So I wasn't sure if this one was going to be like too heavy in the jasmine for me to appreciate. But as soon as someone said rhubarb and custard, I was like, haha, I'm getting that. So anyway, I've had it for a while. I've been randomly testing it out. I did a proper full day wear test on Sunday, and it's so pretty. Now, it's another kind of fresh, slightly soapy one, I'd say, but it's not shampooy at all. But there's something clean skinny about this. So the notes in here are top notes of citrus, elemi. Oh, no, sorry. I'm reading the other one. I'm getting it wrong. Ignore that. I'm doing obsessed again. Obsession Night. Top notes of white flower, bitter orange, angelica, bergamot and mandarin orange. Middle notes gardenia, jasmine, lily of the valley and rose. Base notes cashmere wood, vanilla, sandalwood, tonka bean and amber. And it does have a sweetness. It doesn't have that spiciness that the original Obsession has. And everyone's like, a lot of people comment about this and they've been sort of saying, well, I don't know why it's called Obsession Night. It's like clearly like great for daytime. It's quite light. It's not like massively strong. But I kind of look at this one as like nighttime as in bedtime, because I think this is like a really soothing, calming, pretty, sweet skin scent. There's something really kind of lovely about it, and I feel like maybe their suggestion of night literally means kind of in bed, you know. Not necessarily for sleeping, but I think it's slightly delicate in a way that the original Obsession obviously isn't. And yeah, so I just kind of get that impression from it. I feel like it's not supposed to be night as in this is an evening perfume for you to wear out partying. Like that's, I don't think, the idea of this. I think it's supposed to be like gentle, like a nighttime garden or something. And I find it kind of hard to pick out the floral specifically in this. It's not too jasmine-y for me. I definitely know there's vanilla in it. I can get the cashmere wood, but it's quite gentle. Same with the sandalwood. And when you first spray it, you definitely get like mandarin orange. I think the angelica is quite high in this one, because probably the closest vibe to it that I've got is my Sarah Jessica Parker's Dawn, which I think has quite a lot of angelica in it. But that one's kind of fresher, more dewy. This one is more, nighttimey because it's sweeter. So I kind of see what the reviewer saying that there's a rhubarb and custard vibe to it means. There is a slight custardy vanilla in this, and it does have a slightly strange floral in it that I guess is mixing with the fruits that's kind of creating, because rhubarb's a weird smell. Like, I mean, how do you explain rhubarb? It is an odd smell, but it's even odder in the kind of rhubarb and custard sweets because it's quite synthetic. It's maybe not the most natural perfume that I've ever smelt, but it's super nice. The thing that this reminds me of, though, quite a lot, is Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. So the reason it reminds me of that is because I think this has a slight shaving foam vibe about it, while also being really feminine. It's a very strange thing to say, but that's the vibe it gives me. And that perfume, the one Le Male, the original, that has a shaving foam. Literally, I think it's supposed to be a shaving foam accord. I think that's the idea, that he wanted to create something that smelled like men. So it's like got a lot of vanilla in it, but it's also got a shaving cream note, because that's like the smell of a man's skin. And I would say this, to me, almost smells like the feminine version of that. So I'm digging it. I think it's really quite nice, and I would happily recommend this one. No one ever talks about it. I think you can get it for absolute bargain. It's not massively strong. It doesn't project loads. It's delicate, but it's pretty. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this one. It's actually... it feels like it's related to Obsessed. I feel like this is the kind of stages, it's like this one, and then that one's more skin scenty, and actually even the Obsessed Intense is kind of the one above this. It's like much sweeter and stronger. So then Monday for work, I just thought I'd try this one for a full day, and I loved this. This is just a little 20ml. This is Rive Destinee. I will butcher whatever I try to do with the pronunciation of that. So this is their dupe of the original Liebe, or YSL Liebe. Is it Liebe? Is it Libre? I think it's Liebe. But anyway, I think it's very possible that this is kind of a mixture between the original EDP and the EDT, but kind of without the T notes. Because I think the original Liebe I have since... Because when I first got this, I got it because I was interested in what the profile of Liebe was going to be like. And I was really surprised by it, because every description I'd heard of it didn't match this. Because this smells like a fancy soap. It smells like a bar soap, but it also smells like a kind of grown-up boss lady, but one who doesn't want to be the centre of attention too much, a sensible lady who smells clean and pretty. It's got vanilla in it, but I would never have described this as a vanilla perfume, which is what I kind of thought it was going to be, because it's got a lot going on. And it just genuinely smells like a bar soap, which I wonder if why a lot of people don't like it. So I smelt this one and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear that. There's a fair bit of jasmine in it, and it just wasn't what I was expecting. And then I went and smelt the original Liebe in Selfridges. And I would say this is quite a good dupe. It's lighter and it's way easier to wear. It's kind of just less cloying. It's a little bit less of everything while still keeping the profile, if that makes sense. So I would describe this as the fuss-pot version of the original Libre. It's kind of like if the Eau de Toilette didn't have different notes, if they just made like a lighter and slightly easier to wear, slightly less pungent, maybe slightly less lavendery version of the original Liebe, then I think this is what it would smell like. And when I actually got the sample of Le Parfum, I think the newest one, and I was just like, the orange blossom in that is too strong. It smells very mature to me, that perfume. This one smells quite mature as well. But that one, and when I say mature, I don't mean vintage, I don't mean old. I mean, it smells like a grown-up. It's designed for a grown-up and not for like a teenager. Whereas, Britney Spears stuff, that kind of smells like it's made for teenagers. And to be honest, so does Cloud, and the Ariana Grande ones, a lot of them do have that kind of appeal to like a very wide spectrum. This one, I think probably it has an appeal, or at least a vibe to it that seems a little bit more grown up. Which is another thing that surprised me about it, because they have Dua Lipa doing the advertising. But I really think that it's very pretty, the Parfum version. but it's way too strong for me. The orange blossom is way too powerful in it. My husband didn't like that one either. He thought it smelled like old-fashioned, way too mature. But I wore this one and I just love it. I think this is such a lovely perfume. So like I said, I've just got this little 20ml, and you can get these for super cheap. But even the 100ml bottle of these, which is actually in quite a smart bottle for Le Rive, you can get those for like under a tenner, I think. And it's actually not too bad for the whole lasting power. If you get your clothes as well, I only had to put this on again like at the end of the day. So it lasted quite a long time on me. So the notes in Destinee are top notes of mandarin orange, petitgrain and blackcurrant. Middle notes lavender, orange blossom and jasmine. Base notes vanilla, musk, ambergris, cedar. And I think there is a slight saltiness, I think, from that ambergris, which is really nice. You definitely get musk and vanilla. I wouldn't have really thought it was particularly cedary. The lavender, orange blossom and jasmine, I feel when I actually wear it, are all quite kind of joined up. Petitgrain gives it a slight greenness. Mandarin orange and blackcurrant just give it a slight fruitiness. But the overall vibe of this is a really fancy. Imagine like if you went to like the most expensive hotel you've ever been to that has its own fancy brand of, you know, toiletries. This is the bar soap. This is the hand soap. Super soapy, really nice. I wore a lot of really sweet and comforting perfumes. This is sweet, but it's not like cloyingly so. It's a good balance. It's actually like, I'd say this, and this. They all kind of have a slightly similar comfy, soapy, sweet skin kind of vibe about them. And these in particular both could be really nice bar soaps. So yeah, I went for the kind of clean. And that, to be fair, and you'll know what I'm talking about if you're a lady when you're watching this and you are someone who menstruates. Because I've been ill, it totally messed my cycle up, and so I was like super late this month. And I could not bear certain scents. So I was like, okay, I need soapy comfort. I need things that are soapy and comforting and nice. And then when I was on, I wanted sweet. While I'm on, I should say. So that is why on Tuesday I was ready to go back to this guy. Now, I haven't worn this for a little while. This is Gres Seductive Red. The reason I haven't worn Gres Seductive Red for a little while is because like in the winter in London, everyone I walked past smelled like they were wearing either Cloud, Baccarat Rouge, or probably more likely, and worse for me, the Zara Red Temptation perfume, which is a dupe for Baccarat Rouge. But they have that medicinal quality to them that I really don't like. And so I just couldn't really wear this when I kept smelling that everywhere, because it's like, this is like the Baccarat Rouge and Cloud's kind of basic profile, but without the medicinalness and without that kind of woody kind of hospital smell, or that tar-like wood that I get in the Zara perfumes. But I was ready for it again, so I wore it and I loved it. It's just a classic. So notes in this: top notes cherry, almond and pink pepper. Middle notes cherry blossom, violet and magnolia. Base notes vanilla, tonka bean and sandalwood. And I mean, honestly, on me, this is just basically like a Bakewell tart, but without the pastry. So it's like almond, cherry and sugar. That's what it kind of smells like to me. It's absolutely delicious. Oh, so pretty. Oh, delish. All right, I'm going to start running out of space, as I always do. So let's start moving everything around a little bit. Okay. And then what have we got? So sticking with the sweet stuff, but I've been hanging on to this for so long because this is Cabotine Rosalie. So this is a Cabotine flanker. I'd read about this ages ago. It was on my list ages ago. I saw it somewhere for like a tenner or something, and so I bought it. And I've been saving it for when I washed my hair with my Daddy-O shampoo, my Lush Daddy-O shampoo. Reason being that is a violety smell that also has quite a lot of kind of bitter, sharp greenness in it. It's got kind of lemon and violet, and there's definitely like leafy green kind of notes in there somewhere from something. And then when I use that one, I also use their Candy Rain conditioner, which is a very, very sweet conditioner that has like macadamia and almond milk and all those kind of like sweet, nutty oils. And I tend to come out of that shower, or at least, well, I should say, I used to come out of the shower smelling a little bit like a Parma Violet, like a slightly, like a Parma Violet sweet, but with like a little bit of greenness in there. Now, I will say, Lush have changed their Daddy-O shampoo, and it doesn't smell the same anymore, and everyone on the website is giving it terrible reviews because it definitely doesn't work as well, and it doesn't perfume your hair in the same way. So sadly, they have upped their prices and they have changed their formulas, and that particular one, the formula, the new one, is rubbish. So hopefully enough people have complained about it that they will change it back at some point, and happily I only got the smaller bottle because I've been using that. I use it like maybe once a month to deal with my greys and make them all nice. But yeah, anyway, so I didn't actually come out smelling as yummy as I normally do. But the point is, this particular perfume, the notes are top notes of almond, lemon tree, petitgrain and apple, middle notes of violet, rose, orris root, magnolia, jasmine and plum, base notes vanilla, amber, benzoin, peach and cedar. And it just is a powdery, lemony, green violet. It's like a really interesting and unusual smell. I mean, I will say for this one, it's a bit of a shame that it's got this particular silver coating, because the juice inside is like a kind of really nice orangey pinky colour. Oh, it's really pretty though. You really get that lemon tree, and it's a really interesting smell, but you get the almond and you get the sort of powdery orris like root smell as well, that kind of irisiness, and then you slowly get the violet popping out too, and it's just really pretty. You get enough vanilla and amber to make it kind of nice and warm, sweet, but because it's got that lemon tree in it, it's not like sickening. So it really does, like, this is the smell of my hair after I've used Daddy-O shampoo and thingy conditioner, you know. It's really intriguing, it's interesting, it's not very strong. I actually think this one would shine better in warmer weather. It's been quite cold this week, so this is one I had to reapply quite a lot. I just took the whole thing in my bag, so I was like, oh, hell to it, I'm just going to take this monster in my bag. It's super pretty. You definitely get the almond, and it's definitely powdery. There's not really much rose to be found. Yeah, it's just powdery and pretty, and it's sweet, and it's just cozy. It's really cozy, is how I would describe that. Super cozy, really enjoyed it, really nice. Yeah, tasty. So that was Wednesday. Thursday. This is such an interesting perfume because, again, maybe it's to do with my cycle. Sometimes when I smell this one, I'm like, oh, I thought I really loved that and I don't like it. And then other times, like this time when I wore it, I'm like, oh, I love it. This is Avon Far Away. This is the original Far Away. It's not an original bottle of it because they had much cool. Do you remember how cool the lids were? It was like half black and half bright pink. So they've kind of made the lids a bit more boring, but the actual smell, oh. Yeah, I was absolutely loving this on Thursday. It's so cozy again. It's just cozy, cozy, cozy. Really good if you're feeling a bit rough. And it's a bit cold. It's actually very good in cold weather. So the top notes here are coconut, ylang ylang, peach, caro corunde and orange. Middle notes jasmine, gardenia, violet, freesia, osmanthus and rose. Base notes vanilla, sandalwood, amber and musk. And it's the one that I think is like mainly a floral vanilla, a warm a warm floral with a lot of vanilla, but it also has that slight plasticky doll head smell about it, which I find really comforting and reminds me of being a kid. And also, I used to wear this when I was a kid, so that that helps the whole situation. But yeah, I was looking at my perfumes and I was sniffing a few of them on Thursday morning, and I knew I wanted to wear something sweet and kind of maybe a bit creamy. And I took one sniff of this and was like, yeah, that's the one. Oh, I absolutely love it. And I really loved how I smelled all day. And I can smell this for quite a long time. It's not like a huge projector, but I think it's got a really nice... it's got a decent longevity for an Avon perfume. Let's put it like that, because it's so cheap. I'm going to put this over here for now. Let's get it out of the way. So, let's see. And then on Friday, oh yes, so last week, if you watched last week, you will have seen that I had the tester. And so I managed to sell my bottle of Michelle Germain's Sugarful and Spice. So I sold that one, and then with that money, I purchased from Amazon this one. What a box. What a beautiful box. I'm sad. I might have to keep this box, to be honest. Actually, I keep most of my box for a little while, just in case I end up not liking the perfume, want to smell it, sell it even. But it's such a gorgeous box. Really lovely. So, on Amazon, you can get an 80ml for 33 quid at the moment. There's only a few of them left, so if you're in the UK and you want one of these, go for it. Oh, so tasty. What I will say is that sometimes when I pull this off, it sometimes pulls this off as well. So a couple of times I managed to pull the whole thing off, but I've tried to squish this back on and shape it, so hopefully it won't come off again. So look at that dark juice. It's so dark. I don't know if you can even see through it. It's so much vanilla in this, but it's such a custardy vanilla. I love this. I actually am realising that I actually love Lolita Lempicka perfumes. I genuinely do. I have, I think the only one I've ever smelt that I hated was Oma Bish. And that is the, like I said in the last one, this is the one I should have gone for rather than the other. But because I'd never really seen a review where they said what I think it smells like, which is it basically smells like vomit, this one is just heavenly, and I can totally see why the people who love it absolutely love it. I was so digging myself, especially it was really cold in the morning. That's when it was at its best, when it was very cold and I was outside. I had like a big faux fur on and I could smell it through my mask, and it was so cozy and comforting and warm, sweet. It was just everything that is good on a cold day. And it is exactly like I said, it definitely, and just to be clear, because I was talking about this last time, I'm not saying this has a literal cake smell, because it isn't a literal smell. It's not like the perfumes that I can't abide that actually literally smell like a cake or a cookie or pastry. It's not bready. It doesn't have any kind of actual, you don't smell like a literal cake, But it's a perfume, it's like a perfume interpretation of a cake, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like a delicious, slightly spiced cake. And I think that spiced vibe is coming from the licorice in it. So let me just read this out actually before I carry on. Top notes: Bellini, Italian mandarin, orange pepper, grapefruit, lemon and lime. Middle notes: white peach, plum, black currant, jasmine sambac, jasmine, magnolia and rose. Base notes: Madagascar, vanilla, licorice, benzoin, white musk and sandalwood. And it honestly, that licorice I think gives it a slight spice, but it's not strong in the licorice, especially not compared to other Lolita Lempickas. So it gives it this kind of almost treacly cake vibe. If you can imagine like a spiced hot cake made with maybe a little bit of treacle in it. So you've got that slight licoricey darkness. Then like with apricot, really sugary apricot jam spread on top of that hot cake and served warm with a big slosh of vanilla custard. If you imagine a perfume interpretation of that smell, I think that's what this smells like. I gave my husband a hug yesterday when I was wearing it, and he said I smelled nice, and I asked him what he thought I smelled like, and he said custard. So that's not my imagination, because definitely like it's quite fruity at the beginning, it's quite jammy, and then that kind of chills out a little bit. and it gets kind of more and more custardy, more and more vanilla-y, and I think what you're left with after quite a few hours is just like a really nice, slightly edible smelling custardy vanilla, which is that's the kind of vanilla I like. So I have smelt a few perfumes that have this kind of vibe that don't work for me, but this gives me, it's actually compared, I think, to what's it called? Amo Ferragamo. Now I still haven't put up my video of that, which I will do because I got a little tester of that and the Flowerful Flanker, and I just couldn't get on with it. It's not the kind of vanilla I like. That's the problem. It's not a custardy vanilla. It's more of a perfumey vanilla, and I can't really get on with anything that's like pink sugar, and that's another thing this has been compared to. And if you are someone who is watching this video because you're interested in Lolita land, but you don't like pink sugar, and because it's been compared to it, which honestly is definitely one of the reasons why I would have been so resistant to this for so long. I hate pink sugar. I hate that scent profile. I really don't like the vanilla that's in that perfume. I don't like any perfumes that smell like it. It smells like burnt caramel and vanilla fields, if you know that Coty perfume. So there's a certain type of vanilla. I think it's like probably similar to some of the stuff you get in like the vintage vanilla perfumes that doesn't smell gourmand. It's like a complete perfumey vanilla. That's the kind of vanilla I cannot abide. I really hate that burnt caramelly smell. I really cannot wear anything that smells like pink sugar. And I've had pink sugar and sold it because I hated it. I've had other things that turned out to be dupes for pink sugar, and I hate all of those. If anything smells like pink sugar, you can get it away from me. Lolita Land does not smell like pink sugar. It absolutely doesn't smell like pink sugar. So if that's putting you off getting this, don't like, just go for it, just try it. But you can, especially in the UK, you can definitely get samples of this one. So just get yourself a sample and try it out. I would never be able to wear this in warm weather because it would definitely be too sweet for me. But as I said in the last one, on my list of things that I want is the Lolita Lempicka, the one that's supposed to be for men, the Green Lover, because that gives me like a much lighter version of this kind of custardy vanilla that I really like, but it's got like the lovely bright zingy green elements to that as well, like zestiness. So I think Lolita Land will be my delicious vanilla Lolita for the winter, for the cold months, and then at some point in the future hopefully I'll get the Green Lover and I'll wear that in the warmer months. But I'm going to have a few reviews of testers of Lolita Lempicka perfumes, because I already had the two sweet perfumes and I really like both of those. I love this one. I actually love I think it's called Mon Premier version of Lolita Lempicka, which I'll have to do a carded sample review of that really soon, and I've got some other carded samples on the way that I'm going to talk to you about. I just think I actually really like Lolita Lempicka perfumes, and part of the reason I like them is they're not super woody a lot of the time, and on top of that they're also not always full of patchouli. And patchouli is one of my kind of enemies in perfumes most of the time. Like I said, I can't really smell it in this one, but generally speaking, you'll notice there isn't really a lot of patchouli going on here, because it's just not a smell that normally I can wear. So yeah, I mean, I'm super happy about it. But yeah, if you go to Amazon, if you're in the UK, £33 for an 80ml is a bargain for this. It's considerably more expensive in most other places. And this was new in the box as well. Oh, that colour. I'm super happy about it. I can totally understand why people are obsessed with it. I won't go on about it all the time, because I know that you've probably seen loads of perfume people on YouTube talking about it. But yeah, I mean, I would absolutely recommend every single one of these. I think that this is so interesting. This is just really like reminiscent of childhood, and it's cheap and cheerful. This is just gourmand madness. This is one of the coziest things I've smelled in a long time. This is just sultry but in a quiet way, and this smells like a clean, smart lady. So yeah, and Obsessed is like, this is like a sexy skin scent. It's just your skin, but considerably better. So yeah, so that was my week. I wore quite a lot of lovely things, so yeah, it's been a very good one, very comforting. I don't know what mood I'll be in next week, so we'll see what I'm wearing then. Hope you had a nice week, guys.